If you are an LLC and you're trying to build business credit, there are certain mistakes you need to avoid. In today's conversation, I want to walk you through the mistakes that you need to avoid. So if you are building business credit. So here is an overview I want you to pay attention to. The first mistake you want to really sort of avoid is failing to update business information. So when we talk about here is that if you're trying to build business credit, you need to understand that your data is available in multiple databases. For example, you have the Dun & Bradstreet. So Dun & Bradstreet, this is actually an important element, an important database, if you're an important agency, if you will, if you're trying to build business credit. So you want to make sure that you contact Dun & Bradstreet right now. Go to www.dnb.com and you want to make sure that your data there is actually accurate. So we're talking about first name, first name, last name, when it comes to the principal of the LLC or LP or S corporation or C corporation, for example. You want to have things like your EIN, the EIN of the company. You want to make sure that the activity, all the elements, all the data that revolves around the company. Okay, so make sure that you actually have the right information. And now, if there is any error, any inconsistency, you want to fix it ASAP. So you need to actually update business information also. So not only we're talking about the initial data that you actually provide to the Dun & Bradstreet officials, but you also need to update that data if there is a significant change in the company, in the way the company operates. Let's say now you have decided to move from being an LLC to a C corporation. This could have some impact when it comes to credit agreements. So you want to update that. So we're talking about, when we talk about Dun & Bradstreet, we're talking about something called also DUNS number. So you want to request a DUNS number from a Dun & Bradstreet. And so this is kind of cool because this is how you can check your business data. Okay. And when we talk about Dun & Bradstreet, now Dun & Bradstreet is not the only business credit bureau. You have two others. I mean, there are many more, but the two other prominent ones are Experian Business Credit and also Equifax Business Credit. So the same thing you did with Dun & Bradstreet, you want to do with Equifax also and Experian. You want to make sure that you update your data. The second mistake you want to avoid is to use trade credit from vendors that do not report. If a vendor does not report, you do not want to do business with them. Why? Why would you want to actually risk? It's not really risking, but why would you want to engage in a credit relationship with a vendor who does not report to a Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, or Experian? You're just wasting time. And you have a lot of vendors who report, so it's just a lot better to contact those vendors instead of going with those other lenders or net 30 vendors or credit card issuers who do not report. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. So mistake number one, failing to update business information. Mistake number two, using trade credit from vendors that don't report. Mistake number three, paying bills with personal checks or credit cards. And this is very easy. It is convenient, but it's not helpful to you. If you are trying to build business credit, you have an LLC and you are trying to build business credit, you need to actually segregate your personal affairs from your business affairs. This is so important, not only in the way you manage in the way you build credit, but also in you trying to shield yourself away from business liability, from legal liability. Okay. So in addition to paying your bills on time or ahead of schedule, you want to make sure that you use company checks or credit cards to pay your bills instead of using your personal checks or credit cards. Okay. Now, a business's credit file is only supposed to reflect the financial performance of the company itself. And using personal payment methods can muddy the waters, and you don't want that because Dun & Bradstreet takes into account payments made by the company itself, not individuals. Okay. Now, so if you're trying to really fix this, you want to keep your personal and business finances separate. And it's important to do that because you want to make sure, again, that you actually, you want to shield yourself away from liability. So mistake number three, paying bills with personal checks or credit cards. Mistake number four, applying for business credit cards that are actually personal credit cards. A lot of business credit cards may actually substitute for personal credit cards, and you do not want to use them. Even if you're a sole proprietorship, you want to go for a business credit card. In other words, a credit card that labels itself business credit card. Not like, you have a credit card that can be business/personal credit card. No. The thing is that you could be forgiven for thinking that a business credit card will help you build business credit. It's practically right there in the name, right? However, many business credit cards are actually tied to the owner's personal credit file. This is because most new businesses lack the credit history that card issuers can take into consideration when trying to understand a company's ability to pay. It's an important distinction because on-time payments and responsible financial behavior may benefit the individual's credit score instead of the business credit file. And you do not want to have that. You want to have a system whereby you are actually benefiting your business credit file. Remember, you have an LLC and you are trying to build a business credit. So you need to really you need to focus all your efforts on actions that will boost your business credit file. So you want to actually, you want to understand what the lender is actually offering, and a business credit card can still provide access to capital, but it's usually not an effective tool for building business credit unless you have an EIN only. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about LLC business credit mistakes to avoid when building business credit. Another mistake that you really want to stay away from is selecting the wrong business structure. See, the whole thing is that when we talk about business in general, you have several business structures, right? You have LLC, limited liability company. You have LLP, limited liability partnership. You have LP, limited partnership. You have corporation. You have S corporation. Now, S corporation is not I would say a definite legal structure because it's something that happens at the federal level. But the thing is that what you want to do is, if you are trying to build business credit, you got to have a business to start with. In other words, you have to have a legit business. Sometimes a lot of folks, they actually just tell you, yeah, I have a business, blah, 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 blah. But in reality, they do not have a business. When we talk about having a legit business, we're talking about a business that you have filed information about with state authorities. Remember, when we talk about business in general, you do not have to file anything at the federal level now until January 1st, 2024, where the laws will change, because there's something called Corporate Transparency Act, CTA. There's a new law that will require all LLCs, LPs, all companies to file information with FinCEN, which is the Bureau of the Department of the Treasury. But the thing is that when you have the right, you got to have a business. In other words, you got to file paperwork with the state authorities and now with the federal authorities so that you are considered a business. And so if you are a business, you can build business credit. If you are a sole proprietorship or you are a general partnership, those two operating structures do not allow you to build business credit. Let me repeat it. You cannot build business credit if you are a sole proprietorship or a general partnership. Let me give you a bonus here. So the thing is that when we talk about LLC business credit mistakes to avoid when building business credit, it's important to understand that obviously, besides all the five main errors that I just spoke about, failing to update business information, using trade credit from vendors that do not report, paying bills with personal checks or credit cards, applying for business credit cards that are not actually a business credit cards, and selecting the wrong business structure. You also have other mistakes such as making late payments. You do not want to make late payments at all, okay? So the payment history of your business is one of the key factors that influence your credit score. We're talking about your payday score. Again, payday score goes from 0 to 100 with like the higher the better, right? 80 is actually the average here, and you want to be above 80 to sort of boost your chances of getting more and more when it comes to business credit. And so the thing is that every time you miss a deadline, your score takes a hit and decreases by a few points. If you do not want your score to drop, you need to build the habit of paying your bills on time. And so doing so lets you avoid late payments and maintain good standing. And the cool thing is you can set alarms, you can set reminders on your phone or a calendar to ensure you do not miss your due dates. However, if you tend to forget things, you can set up auto debit payments. So this feature will help you pay your loans on time, avoid unnecessary purchases or expenses, and prevent your score from decline. And you do not want your score to decline here. Again, when we talk about paydays, the same thing is kind of analogous when you The score is sort of analogous when you think about the Experian Business Credit Score or Equifax Business Credit Score. So don't also ignore your score. If you have an LLC and you are trying to build business credit, do not ignore your business credit score. In other words, you got to have a clear idea where you are at right now. Let me ask you a question. Do you know your business credit score right now? You got to know. Are you around 75, 85, 90? I mean, what is your payday score? Right now, you want to contact you want to contact each of the three most important business credit agencies to have a clear idea where you are at. Okay. And, going forward, it's better every 3 months or 6 months to check your business credit score again to see if you're making progress or not. That way you can tweak things as you go along. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about LLC business credit mistakes to avoid when building business credit. Another mistake that you really want to avoid if you're trying to build business credit, if you have an LLC, is to actually let your loans pile up. See, when we talk about loans piling up, we're talking here about your debt to income ratio, your DTI, and also your credit utilization ratio. Remember, when we speak about loans, this is not just regular loans like installment loans. We're also talking about lines of credit, so your LLC lines of credit, but also your LLC balances, credit card balances. The thing here is you need to understand, when you take out too many loans within a short period of time, it really indicates that you are credit hungry, which lenders consider a red flag. And this is a risk. Although having a mix of credit accounts is good, what you want to do here is that you want to balance the number of secured and unsecured loans that you have, or you only apply for loans or credit cards that you know you need. In other words, you need to be strategic here in terms of application. And sometimes it's just a lot better not to apply at all. Okay. And you also have to see the revenue. You need to look at the revenue aspect of things to see that you have enough revenue to be able to afford any loan that you are taking over. Okay. And as you're doing that, make sure if you're currently are using some personal credit cards to pay bills, you want to really, as I said before, you want to stop that ASAP. You really want to switch things around and go into a situation where you are using going forward your business credit cards only, your business checks only. And so anything has to be linked to the business. Why? Because anytime you make a payments with your business credit cards, you are actually empowering something called your EIN, your employer identification number, and empowering your EIN really helps you down the road to actually get business credit for your LLC using your EIN, which you want anyway. You want to be in a situation where you are using your EIN and not your social security number to get business credit. And so that also helps you put your business on another level when it comes to risk mitigation and risk management overall. Another mistake that you really want to avoid if you are trying to build business credit for your LLC is to guarantee someone else's loan. So when we talk about guaranteeing someone else's loan, we're talking about several things here. Number one, you do not want to guarantee somebody's loan at the personal level or at the business level. Why? Because if you guarantee somebody's loan at the personal level, this could come and bite you, either personally or at the business level, or vice versa. Not vice versa, simultaneously, both. The thing is that people say, well, when you have an LLC, you have some sort of legal shield. You have a shield against legal liability. That's not always true. It really depends. And we have seen cases where the courts have ordered actually LLC principals to pay for personal liability, to pay for personal loans. Okay. So there is nothing wrong with being a guarantor of a third party loan. Don't get me wrong. But your business credit score could suffer if the borrower fails to pay their debts, especially if your LLC guarantees another LLC's loan. So the thing is, when you agree to be a guarantor, you are responsible for the repayment of the loan. That means that if a third party defaults, you'll have to pay for the money they borrowed. So before you co-sign another person's loan or another business's loan, check their backgrounds and financial history to see if they can pay off the loan before you agree to be their guarantor. Another mistake that really is detrimental if you are trying to build a business credit for your LLC is to close old credit accounts. The length of your business's credit history is another key factor that affects your business credit score. The longer your history is, the higher your LLC business credit score will be. However, if you close one account, the entire history will be removed from your report. So let's say your business has been using the same credit card for 5 years and you decide to close it because you no longer are using it. You will lose the 5-year history from your report, leading to a decline in your score. So again, let's say you could go from a paytest score of 85 or 88, you can go all the way to 78 or 75. And when we talk about 88 to 75, for instance, a 10 points or 13 point decline is huge. This could add thousands of dollars on a 5-year loan, business loan, for instance. So you want to really pay attention to how you structure your business credit when it comes to longevity. Talking about restructuring, if you restructure your loans also, this could have a detrimental impact on your LLC business credit score. Let me explain this. Loan restructuring happens when an LLC business negotiates with creditors to lower their interest rates or extend payment terms. So this approach can help you make your debt situation manageable. Yes, not a problem. But the thing is that once you restructure your loan, it will be recorded on your credit report. This could cause you a few points to drop. And so furthermore, potential lenders could see this as a sign that your business, your LLC, is incapable of repayment. So if you're having trouble paying your loans, avoid applying for new ones until you have cleared your balance. That way you can pay off your debts and maintain a good business credit score for your LLC. And you need to have that good business credit score if you are trying to build business credit over time. Another mistake you want to avoid here is to max out your credit card. So when we talk about maxing out your credit card, we're speaking about something called credit utilization ratio. And you know that the higher your, like a CUR, that's the name, the credit utilization ratio works in a reverse situation, in a reverse relationship to your credit score, to your business credit score, but also to your personal credit score. So if your CUR, your credit utilization ratio goes up, your business credit score or your personal credit score goes down, and vice versa. So you want to actually you want to maintain a credit utilization ratio that's around 30% or below. Okay, 30% or below. And the thing here is that you need to understand, when we talk about credit utilization ratio, this is actually the ratio that measures the amount of credit you have used from your account. It's really a key factor that makes up your business credit score and also makes up your personal credit score for that matter. So bottom line here is what? If you have an LLC and you are trying to build business credit, make sure that you update your business information. Use trade credit from vendors that do report to the 3 credit bureaus that I mentioned, and also the SBFE also. So in addition to Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian, you also have something called SBFE, Small Business Financial Exchange. You make sure that you pay bills with personal checks or credit cards. Apply for business credit cards that are actually actual business credit cards, and select the right business structure. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I just spoke to you about LLC business credit mistakes to avoid when building business credit. So I gave you the overview, the bonus, and then I just expanded a little bit on the those elements you need to stay away from if you are trying to build business credit for your LLC. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.